Okay, so question and answer session. So let's look at this from Cassave 309. He said, please show how to pass the power wire through the firewall. So I think this is a comment on the video I did, installation of subwoofer, the subwoofer installation. Aftermarket subwoofer installation of my 407. I'm not actually giving update on this guy, so I will. So concerning this, so what happened? Because in that video I did, I show how I ran power source, the permanent positive power source from the BSM side, which is in the engine bay. So which I fused anyway. So he is trying to know how did I pass the wire from the firewall. What happened was, remember this car? Okay, probably you don't know. The car originally had automatic transmission. So I've converted 3 of my cars. Uh, is it 3? No, 2 actually. 2 of my car. What? Z9, D2. Uh, okay, 3, 2. Two actually. Okay, so 2 of my car. So what I usually do, if I'm not just my own car. Sorry, I'm delaying you guys. I'm trying to articulate my thoughts well. So whenever I'm converting a car from automatic to manual, that will require changing the brake pedal, the pedals assembly. So removing the pedal assembly will also involve um, basically removing what's it called, the brake booster sitting position. There's something that hold the brake booster to the firewall. So once you detach the pedal assembly, then the brake booster can be pulled out. So in that case, what I now do was, whenever I remove that, I will pass like 4, at least minimum of 4 wires, long wires, to pass it through there, through that hole. I will pass it through there before I put the brake pedal assembly, no, the pedals assembly again. Of course, this time it will be the manual brake pedal assembly. So I will pass it through there and I will insulate it very well. What I mean is, I will tape each of those wires well before passing it through that space. Then I'll put the pedal assembly, put the brake booster sitting, tight everything well so that there won't be any space. There won't be like, oh, it's passing air through there or anything. So, but I'll tape those things so that no matter what, it will not touch any metal. So, like I said, sometimes I do it up to 6 wires. That will be long enough to enter, get to the fuse box, and I'll leave it there. And it will come out under the pedal. I'll take it in somewhere under the dashboard and leave those wires there. For future use, most times during the conversion, I use like 1 or 2 of the wires. The other 2 or 3 will remain unused. So in future, if I have any need to do something that will pass through the engine bay into the vehicle, then I'll use one of those wires. So that was how I did it in this case. So I had to tap one current from there. That's how I was able to I used one of the wires, put fuse on it, which came with the subwoofer. So it could now take positive current to the subwoofer. So now you know why. So other than that, it's going to be very difficult unless you have to start opening up, drilling, all those stuff. The other people that do it through the, you have to open the door, pass the wire. But what I notice is over time, those wires tend to cut. They tend to cut. So I'm opening door, closing, opening door, closing. I know people that have done that. Before you know it, one day the wire will cut. Even me, whenever I do that, once I'm passing, if it's negative supply that I'm going to do, which most you don't really need to do pass negative to that kind of place. You can always take power negative source or earth source from somewhere inside the car, so you don't need to do it from the engine bay. So usually put something positive or something, or maybe signal, whatever it is. So I always introduce fuse before it passes through there, so that even though it won't happen, but if for any reason the thing start touching the body of the wire, it will cut the fuse from the source, the power supply from the source, so it won't be able to pass through that place. Anyway, it has never happened, so now you know. Now update on the subwoofer is there, but to be honest, um I don't know whether it's the model of the subwoofer that I purchased. It's not really giving me that kind of sound. It's there, you can feel, but it's not as good as I would have wanted. Um, so I still think I will have to get the factory one. One next I have time, I'll start the search again. I believe it will be somewhere available, just that I won't be able to find somebody that, I mean, who people hardly cares about this type of stuff. So somebody who probably will have a good one that is for sale, but nobody has bothered to call. And if care is not taken, the person will throw it away at some point. So one day I'll make a time to look for it again. Is there, like I said, in fact, I had to reduce the, doesn't really, doesn't give me what I want, honestly. Anyway, so that is it. Moving on. So this is Obisha. He said, "Liking, good evening. When last did you fill your gas?" Oh, that's well, I was talking about, in this video I was talking about my 406 AC that suddenly stopped working. Um, funny, like I said, it wasn't necessarily about the gas. Yeah, it was showing sign that the gas was low, but it was still shading. Though not as good as when gas usually is. The pressure of gas is enough. But, so, but eventually it was just a very small valve, which I bought 600 naira. There are usually two valves. One will be on the dryer, while there's another one beside the dryer. So one of them, the one I changed, was the one that you put the gas to into the system. I think I changed that one once. That time was like 200 naira or 300 naira. It's many years ago. While the one that now failed is the one I've not changed before, which is the one on the dryer, which if you hardly check or use anyway. So the one we normally use is the one for putting gas. So that's the one that failed. Was leaking gas more, but eventually it wasn't. Yeah, the gas was leaking, but it wasn't the reason why this thing stopped working. The fuse cut. I don't know. Fuse cut. The fuse that powers the compressor. So because what confused me, what made me not to even bother to diagnose this issue myself, was because the gas was already showing sign of leakage, that the gas pressure was very low. So and I know the way you usually do is when you stop cooling, you just be cooling, you will be struggling. After you get a point, you won't be feeling any cold air anymore. In that case, you can as well, either you shut it down by yourself or the system will shut the compressor off by itself. So, but in this case, it wasn't like that. Yeah, it wasn't chilling as good as it was making that whistling sound to show the gas pressure was low. But it hasn't gotten to a stage where I won't be feeling cooling again. So I drove to one place, parked the car. In fact, actually, it was a car inspection. I was searching for a car for someone. So I drove to somewhere around Kubwa. So I drove all the way on the express, entered there, parked the car, check. I didn't see any car that made sense to me. Enter the car, started the car. The AC refused to come up. I was like, wow. Me and the gas I just finished all of a sudden. So I got home that day. I parked the car because one thing I don't drive that car with that AC. So so only for me. So even when we eventually put the gas, so what pained me it was because I got confused. If not, I would have known. If I had diagnosed it myself, eventually, if I put system, it would tell me, oh, something is wrong with the fuse, which actually one of the fuses on the BSI that I've cut. So I checked out the diagram. It showed that the fuse powers the AC compressor. It's 15 ratings. So that was what happened. So immediately you change it, compressor came back on. So that hose, there was no need to have changed those 3 hoses. It was painful. The 4 hoses was hardly fair. As in, yeah, they will show sign of weakness, but year after year after year, they will still be there. They hardly fair compared to 307, 407 hoses, Z9 hoses. The AC hoses are useless. Before I know it, they started to swell up. But 406, it will stay like that. So I think, this kind of thing, when you are trying to, I would not say I was desperate, not necessarily desperate, because, I mean, I have other cars, so it mustn't be that I must use 406. But I was like, okay, if this is the reason why this is leaking, fine, let's change the hose. But one of them was so obvious that it was not leaking. There was no sign of oil on it. The other 2 had oil on them, but I was like, what if it was engine oil? Because, VCs, especially if you are using 5W40, the engine can never be that dry. So I could see small sign of wetness from the cylinder head trickling down gradually. So over time, anything that is around that engine under will be wet as well. So they kept saying, oh, is this fine? No, it has to be the hose. Look at it now. I was a bit. I know how the other Peugeot car AC hoses, pressure hoses can be when they are bad. I've changed that of my 607. I think I've done the same of 407 as well. I know, yeah, if they are weak, I do know. This one is not like that. So I was okay, but worst case scenario, I will change and still keep them anyway. But one of them eventually has to be damaged. It couldn't come out, so it has to be damaged. And that's even the most important one, the biggest of them. But the other 2, we are there because I told them, if you must remove it, you must cut it in such a way that I can go back in without damaging anything. So that's how they did it. That's why I took them back. But one can't go back. So I had to put those new ones. So it was basically a waste. And it wasn't cheap. For 31,000, I spent some money. The hoses, the changing cost at 1,000. The gas, you saw in the video as BFAC, they say it was scarce, so 7,000, made it 14,000. Basically, just say approximately almost 50,000 naira for something that fuse. What is fuse? Fuse, I didn't even need to buy. I have always some spare fuses. Fuse, I know I have. And then the pressure, the valve, 600 naira. But of course, yeah, eventually, once you are changing that valve, you have to, whatever gas that was remaining will have to go out. So that gas money, I'll still spend it, then pay the labor. My point, I wouldn't have spent up more, at least more than 20,000 naira, but I ended up spending almost 50,000. It's what I noticed anyway. So So it wasn't about how long did I top up gas. See, this thing I've been doing leaking for, I would say, last time I top up gas on that car was like 2021. I think it was 2021. That was the last time I added gas on that car. Because that thing leaks once in 2 years or so. It start showing that sign. I was just, you know what, I don't want to start messing with the system since it's just leakage and it takes more than a year before it leaks out again. So I'll go and top maybe 1 can. I won't even wait for it to leak completely. Once it starts whistling, I'll go and add like 1 can, like 380 or 400 grams, and that's all again. Till when next it starts showing that sign, which again will be over a year. So this time I was like, you know what, see, let me just fix it. Just fix it. Anyway, so that was what happened. So no, 406, when it comes to AC, man, 406 is just the best. This is how many years old? Car that was produced in 2000. Almost everything. I will still consider that those hoses I changed. Nothing. I will, as in the only thing I changed so far is fuse. One fuse. As far as AC concerned, one fuse and uh the valve. So those hoses, I won't really consider that they failed. They didn't fail. So I'll still regard that these are two things I know I've changed and I changed that day. Every other thing is still intact. And right now it chills like man. You know. So as for the fuse that cut, it was like a concern. Hey, why did this fuse cut? Was there a breeze somewhere? So then it hit me. Remember that I converted the car to 6-speed manual. So I was basically like an upgrade, not necessarily a convert, because it's originally manual anyway, but 5-speed. And to do that, we had to remove the engine. For the very first time the car was manufactured or left, that was the first time the engine came out of the vehicle. So wires moved around. So all those things, I was like, could it be that in the process, one of the wires that has to do with the compressor is touching somewhere? Because that's what he did. Immediately cut off power supply to compressor. So I went under the car and started to, any wire I see that left probably looks like it's exposed, I will find, tape it, do this, it took hours, so I taped everything the best I could. Some of them self have, can say all those hard things that look a little, not necessarily plastic, that looks like rubber, that covers, that, push, hold like some wires together. Those things are started cracking. This is how many years old vehicle? Or 20 something, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's kind of 25 years old car. So I've started to add more, put new, and since then, that was, been driving the car now for days. AC chills well and the rest. So, that's it. What else? Um, this is from Emmanuel Moses. He said there are alternative oil that are cheaper. Pure gas. It's talking about AL for automatic gear, but well, I don't know about pure gas. It could be good. I don't know. Um, it's wow, King of Peugeot. I just finished the video. Okay. This is from Kadodiko. He said how to off this airbag sign on the dashboard. I'm trying to remember the airbag. I don't. The sign. Oh, the 307 I did the repair on. That particular one, it initially showed 2 airbags warning sign. So one was the passenger airbag was switched off. So I switched it back on. The one it went away. The second one, what was the fault? I standing was showing something about. Was it on 2000 or? That's what I mean is something was one. I can't remember. It wasn't something that that can easily be fixed. So I was like, let me just, I can't, it could be from the computer 2000. So it all depends. Airbag have various faults, things that can trigger that airbag warning. So it depends on which one. It could be your your mostly in 307, usually come 2000. Then if it's a converted car from right-hand drive to left-hand drive, sometimes they don't do the conversion well. For example, there was one 307 I bought for someone that was converted from um, right-hand drive to left-hand drive. They intentionally cut off all the airbag connection on the dashboard, all of them. So I will now have to go and source for the connectors, the wires that could connect all those airbags. Because remember, they will change the dashboard. So I think the dashboard they bought, none of the wires were there. On the they had airbag but no wires attached. They cut them off. The connectors were, see, it was a mess. So we had to buy immediately. We did all those connections, did everything. Boom, the one all went away. So you tend to get that issue when you buy a right-hand drive to left-hand drive 307. So this is from Meiji. He said, Halogen, okay, you're talking about 407. Okay, I said 3 things I don't like about my VC Scoop 407. So it reads, halogen is better for misty or poor visibility conditions. Because warmer light is better at penetrating fog and hail than xenon, which is the colder spectrum of light, making it refract back into your eyes. I have driven a Saloon 407 with halogen. It has one of the best lights I've experienced in a salon. I strongly disagree with you. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not disputing everything you said, but this one where you said a 407 with halogen is one of the best lights. And when you say you have experience in a salon, it means you haven't experienced a lot of salon. If that's what you're saying, come on, no. 407, see, I'm not saying they are halogen, 407 halogen lights or headlights. In fact, I'm not saying, generally, 407 headlights are the poorest among Peugeot. As any Peugeot user, as in old Peugeot user that have used various Peugeot models, 407 is not the best when it comes to good headlights. Don't even go there. See, I like my 407 coupe, but the headlight is just not the straight good. Okay. No, it doesn't count at all. Whether it's halogen, yes, the halogens are good. Come on, are you doing a 406? Come on, you say, are you doing a 406? That, of course, they are halogen, but man, come on. Man, no, don't go there. No, don't. No, 407. Ask many 407 users, they'll be telling you whether it's Xenon or halogen. They're always asking the question, which headlight will they put to make this thing looks better? What are you saying? A lot of people are, because of the poor visibility, driving 407 at night, whether halogen or Xenon. They will now go and what's it called? They will go and put is it HID or LED? Virtually will burn their wiper motors. Yeah, that's what usually happens. Simply because of trying to make the car drivable at night, or depending on some parts of road, or to travel with these cars. 7 headlight halogen is not the best, please. Don't just go there. As for the other argument about halogen is better than, I disagree. Okay, let's not just. No, I disagree with you that halogen is better than xenon. Irrespective of car. I disagree because Have you driven 508 first generation? That early this thing. It has a Xenon. It's the facilitated W2 that has a LED. So that Xenon one, go and drive it. Come on, difference is there. Have you driven the Z9 607? Or not just say 607 with Z, because I know Z8. I think Z8. Some models also has a. So there's a more especially the V6 ones. I think they have Xenon. Or yeah, they have that directional light. Go and drive at least I know Z9 they do have it. Though mine is halogen though. They go and drive a Z9, I mean phase 2 607, or even phase 1 that has Xenon factory. You won't say this thing again. What you are just saying. To say they are not, I know they are. It just the design of 607 light is just very poor. I don't know why. They look good when you are looking at them from outside, but when you sit inside them in the darkness, inside the vehicle, and you are looking through the windscreen, no, it's not. I'm not gonna tell you, oh no, or defend 407 in this car. No, they scored very low. So our headlight is concerned. Of course, it doesn't mean you can't be able to see with them, but compared to other cars, 307 phase 1 is even headlight is even better than phase 2 307 headlight. I'm telling you, the phase 2 is very poor. I think almost, you see, Peugeot cars, likewise 308. You see, Peugeot cars produced from 2004 or 2005 up to 2010. They have very poor headlight. I don't know what kind of design. It may not be all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all Peugeot cars produced at that time. But see these common ones. 307, like I said, from 2005. Or let's just say as T6, which is maybe 2006 or so. See all those cars, they have poor headlight. I will say it again. Even the T5 307. The early 307, the headlight is still not the best, but it's better than T6. So Xenon is good. Just that the one in 407, I just don't. I don't know how they design the headlight. Does it? It's not good there. So no, it's not everything. You might have. You could be right in some of the things you say, but like you saying halogen is better than Xenon. It's possible, but I'm just telling you, Z8 or Z9 607 or W2508 with Xenon. Go and drive those cars. You change your position. No, they are good. They are Xenon, no, but they are good. I'm not talking of LED, the one in facilitated W2. I'm talking of Xenon. They are good. The halogen 508, halogen, Xenon is better. I'm talking of that first series. Xenon is better. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this one here. So, alright, so we'll see. So if you have any comments, post it on the video comment section, and I'll go through it and respond to the ones that really need to be attended to. Alright, so till next video.